All right, listeners, welcome back to Out of the Rut. Today on Out of the Rut, we have Ryna Jarek. She's a friend of mine. She's been in the beauty industry for about 16 years, working for businesses, owning her own business. So we're going to be deep diving into the world of the beauty industry with her. This is Out of the Rut. All right, so we're going to start with some get to know you questions. Actually, first off, Ryna, say hi to the listeners for us.
Hi, I'm Ryna.
All right, so we're going to be getting to know Ryna and then getting to know a little bit about the industry that she works in. Billy, take it away, my friend.
Awesome. So we're just going to start with some kind of icebreaker questions just to kind of, have everyone feel a little bit more comfortable and kind of get to know you just a little bit more, if you're cool with that.
Perfect. Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. So let's just kind of start with the basic, easy one. What is a fun fact about you that most people wouldn't know?
Ooh, dang. I feel like people know too much about me. I don't have secrets. I guess, well, you know this. I was in the circus. That's
Wow.
usually one when people find out is a little shocking. And I also used to act and model as a child, and I've been in lots of movies and things like that.
Interesting. Well, if you don't mind going a little bit more on the circus portion, what did you exactly do in the circus?
I was definitely going to ask that.
I primarily did aerial hoop, so a lot of
Interesting.
aerial stuff, but aerial hoop was my specialty. Yeah.
So fun fact. So I originally met Ryna because she was working at a parlor up in Logan Square, where I kind of lived close to when I first moved to Chicago. And we had both actually been doing circus stuff, but we had no idea. And it was through social channels that I saw Ryna start posting that she was doing a lot of aerial stuff at the same time I was doing a lot of acrobatic stuff for another circus gym. And it was sort of just magically into the same thing, and I think I ended up getting a haircut from her, and I was like, by the way, are you into circus stuff? And she was like, oh my god, yeah. And it was just from there, it was just quick friends from there. Completely accidental. Completely accidental.
Yeah, those are the best kind of friendships.
Yeah.
Exactly. Another one I have for you would be, if you had to survive a zombie apocalypse with one celebrity, who would it be and why?
Oh, that's such a good question because it's kind of funny. I always joked if there's a zombie apocalypse, I would just sacrifice myself because I want to be a zombie so bad. So I guess I never thought about if I wanted to survive, who I would choose because I just kind of want to be a zombie.
Interesting. Okay.
Just honestly, the exact opposite. I feel like that everyone else is just I'm actually curious about being a zombie.
Yeah, I'm I don't know, it just sounds kind of fun.
I do hear the brain diet is very good for you. Here it's good, very high in a lot of nutrients. A lot of
Interesting.
Perfect.
And then my last icebreaker for you would be, if you can instantly master any skill, what would it be?
Ooh, instantly master any skill. I think I would like to master some sort of art, whether it be painting or drawing, because it's kind of funny. I have no artistic ability outside of doing hair. Cannot draw even a stick person to save my life. So, that might be a good place to start.
Well, that's insane because arguably, I am sure everyone feels differently, but arguably hair is complicated as hell. So to not be able to draw a stick figure, it almost seems like what are the odds that you can do all of this crazy shit with hair, but you can't draw a stick figure?
I don't get it either.
Okay, and then my last one for you is, of course, as you know, the podcast is called Out of the Rut. If you don't mind going into a little bit of a story about the last time you went in a rut and how you got out of it.
Ooh, I feel like it happens quite often. Sometimes in this industry, it gets pretty overwhelming, especially with social media and all that kind of stuff. It's really easy just to kind of compare yourself to others. I find I do that a lot when I scroll through Instagram. I, go, oh, wow, that makes me feel bad about myself. My work doesn't look like that. I kind of lose inspiration.
Interesting. Okay.
Something that's helped me kind of get out of that is to really think about people. The way they portray themselves on social media is always their best highlights of things. You don't see the struggles and things like that people go through. So that's kind of something I've been kind to myself about. And I'm like, you got to stop, comparing yourself to other people. So that's kind of really helps me pull myself out of those.
Awesome. Interesting. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. It's definitely some good intake on for some of our listeners out here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I'll have a follow up with that. Like before you got into the beauty industry, can you tell us about some jobs that you held before you took the deep dive into the beauty industry? Whether they helped lead you into the industry or maybe just completely irrelevant. But I always love hearing about where people or how people got to where they are.
So, well, I actually started going to cosmetology school when I was 16. So before I had a job, but while I was finishing school, I started working at Victoria's Secret in the fragrance department, so sales. And then I also worked at GameStop as a sales associate. So those were my two jobs.
We're a lover of games here at Out of the Red.
I actually just bought the
Perfect, me too.
Okay.
Ooh, nice. Yeah. So those are my two jobs. I guess like being in sales and having to talk to people kind of helped me be able to have a conversation.
Yeah, so you've known from a young age that you wanted to get into beauty and kind of that industry a little bit.
Yeah, since I was 3.
Wow.
Dude, holy crap.
Lifelong
I
dream.
think I knew my name at 3.
Honestly, very like I feel like 3, like from 3 to 5 is that age where like you really start thinking about like what you want to do, right? Like I feel like every little boy wants to be a firefighter or a cop and stuff like that, but like very few times do I feel like we commit to that decision at that age. So the fact so the fact that at 3 you were like beauty school and committed to that bit, god damn, that's commitment. That's commitment.
So I know when I was 3 or 4 and I wanted to be a Power Ranger.
We're over here like, I want to be a Power Ranger. I want to be a superhero. Ryna's like, yes, beauty. Yes. Locked in, phoning it into beauty right off the bat.
Yep.
Awesome. So let's get into the world of beauty, gentlemen. Who wants to start us off?
I can roll out here.
Ron, take it away.
Hey Ryna, how you doing?
Hey, good. How are you?
Doing awesome, thank you. So, what inspired you to open your own salon?
So I actually never wanted to own my own business. I had worked in salons for other people my whole career prior to this, and I just didn't really like the environment of working for someone else, and I wanted to be able to do my own thing, so decided to give it a try.
And how's that been going so far?
It's been a little over 5 years now. It's been going really well. It has its ups and downs, but overall, I'm glad that I made the choice.
What would you say like the biggest difference is between working for someone else and then working for yourself?
I would say definitely having flexibility in scheduling. I think for me, that's always the hardest is being told, like, you have to be here this time to this time, these days a week, and you only get X amount of sick days, X amount of vacation days. I also am a hair color educator for Redken, and I have to take off sometimes with minimal notice to teach classes and train. So working for myself, it gives me that flexibility, so I also don't have to use my vacation days to do that.
What are the things that you love most about owning your own salon outside of the quality of life?
I really like having an environment that I have created down to the aesthetic of my studio, attracting the type of clientele I want. I'm really fortunate because my space, one, looks like a unicorn threw up all over it. Which is perfect. And 2,
I can
all
concur.
of my clients
It
are
definitely
really
does.
cool.
It definitely does. It's honestly a very cool environment.
Yes. So I just want people to feel, like welcomed, and I want people to feel like they're just hanging out with a friend. They're not like sitting, getting their hair done with some random person and feel awkward.
I imagine it's kind of nice too because you kind of dictate like at least from personal experience, like something that I always struggle with is like the idea of like what professionalism means for the business that I work for, right? Because professionalism in the fitness industry is different from professionalism in the hospitality industry, is different from this industry. And I imagine being able to dictate what professionalism looks like in your space, because it is uniquely yours, I'm sure is kind of liberating, right?
It really is, because I mean, I guess some people, especially old school stylists, may not think that I'm super professional, because there's a whole old school mentality of like, you don't befriend clients. But I personally honestly, most of my best friends all started out doing their hair. I just find that being more personable with people and letting them get to know you and all of that really has like set me apart from other people.
Nice.
What do you think some of the biggest challenges you face starting your own salon are?
Well, so I had no intention of starting a business. I finally just kind of had it at the last job I worked at, and on a whim, scheduled to see the space, signed the lease that day. I had no savings. I had started this business with the last paycheck that I got from the salon I was at. And I put in my 2 weeks notice and was let go on the spot. So I also had a gap of 2 weeks with no work, and I'm starting a business with no savings and one paycheck to my name.
Can I be on?
So that was quite the challenge.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest a little bit. I hate when businesses do that. Like, because we also work in an industry where that is kind of known to happen, because it's such a relationship business, right? And I think a lot of businesses fear, oh, when someone leaves, how much of those clients are they going to try and poach? And it's like, at least I'm sure there are people who do that. I just find the whole I'm putting in a 2 weeks, know your last days today kind of thing. I really find that to be really fucked up personally.
I do too.
It's just like it really puts out the person who like is looking to make the change. And I just feel like so much of consumerism is like, it's based around convenience. So like, even if you did like tell your clients at the place where you worked where you were going, like a fraction of them are going to be the ones that actually follow you, because a lot of the time it's convenience of like location and stuff. I just had a recent
I think
experience
also-
with that kind of thing, so I'm just like triggered by that shit.
Yeah, no, and it's like it's hard to, for salon owners also to realize we don't own clients. Clients have free will to choose where they go. So they may find me on social media, even if I leave with no notice, no telling where I went. Now people can just go look you up on social media and find you. So it's really hard, because like we don't own people, and sometimes I think that is forgotten by businesses.
Yeah, I mean,
As
that's pretty
well.
much what I did. I think like I found out you left, I think through social media, and I just hit you up and be like, cool, where are you cutting now? Like it's not that hard to really do the investigative
No,
work
yeah,
anymore.
yeah, and I just think it creates a toxic environment if you kind of expect that to be the outcome. Yeah, but it is what it is.
Yeah, heck yeah.
All right, I know you said you didn't want to get started in your own business, but obviously being in it and during the process of building your own business, is there ever a time where you felt like you wanted just to give up? And how did you push through that feeling?
Ooh, good question.
Yeah, no, that happens a lot. So I guess with also owning a business with not a dang thought about it before I signed the lease, I didn't realize that it was more than just like doing hair. You are the social media person, you are the tax person, you are the laundry person, you are the cleaning person. So sometimes like it is very overwhelming when I have a lot of things going on in my personal life, and then I also have to show up and do all these things as well. So there are times where I'm like, why am I doing this? This is a lot. But honestly, at the end of the day, I love it, and that overpowers the overwhelmingness of having to do all the things myself sometimes.
When you decided to go into beauty school and to pursue this, like for someone who is looking to kind of explore this as an interest, like what sort of commitment do you make by enrolling in beauty school, both time wise and financially, like by the time everything is
Yes.
said and done?
So when I went to beauty school, it was 16 years ago. School was about $20,000. I think the last time I talked to someone who had started kind of recently, it was about 25,000. It is 1,500 hours in Illinois. So for me, I did part-time because I was in high school at the time. It took me about 2 years from start to finish. Depending on if you are pretty good about showing up to class every day, you can usually get done in about 10 months if you power through and show up to full-time without taking much off.
So honestly, not a huge time commitment, really. Like 10 months is like
No,
definitely a long time still, but in the world of higher education, it's
yeah,
it's pretty manageable.
yeah. Yeah, I will say though, the thing it's like school kind of teaches you the basics of the industry. It's mostly just to kind of like pass you to state boards. The big thing for me was finding an apprenticeship. So I felt like that was another 2 years. So really, from start to finish, it was like 4 years of me before I actually started taking clients too.
And how do you go about finding an apprenticeship? Like, is it just walking into a place being like, "Yo, what up? I want to follow you around for a hot minute," or like,
So I kind of looked into more higher end salons where I lived that had training programs because I felt like finishing school, like I knew the basics, but I wanted to really elevate what I do. And I wanted to really feel confident. So I wanted to go somewhere that had some sort of training program that was really intense so I can learn from other people. So yeah, I just kind of went around and handed out application or my resume or whatever to a few salons in the area.
So I'm gonna ask you a few questions there, Rena, just kind of on day to day kind of experiences when it comes to the salon and everything. Okay. So the first one I have for you would be walk us through just a typical day at the salon.
All right. So typical day. I mean, I'll be honest. I don't really know if there is a typical day. That's the thing is, it's like always something new. But I would say I usually like to get to work a little bit before my client so I can turn on the lights, make sure everything's clean, get set up for the day, and then I would say like I don't necessarily have like a set like cutting or color. It kind of just is a mix of both of those things. So yeah, I don't know if I really have like a standard like this is how my day goes.
Gotcha. No, understandable. It could really change very day to day based on appointments and everything, I would assume, correct?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just like some days I'll have, maybe one haircut. And then some days I may have like two large color projects and then three more haircuts. It's very like there's no balance.
Gotcha. Okay. My other question would be, what are some of the most common requests you get from clients?
I would say common requests are I do a lot of blonde services. I would say commonly lately people have been moving towards more natural looking hair color that they want less maintenance. They
Gotcha.
don't want to have to keep going to the salon every 6 weeks or so to get their hair done. So
I-
that's kind of been more towards what people are moving into.
Interesting. And then just kind of another random one is what is the funkiest color you've had to change someone's hair to?
Now you guys can't see Rena. Rena like change it. Like I've seen Rena in probably like 50 different hairstyles in the time that I've known Rena. So this might be a loaded question, but I'm excited to hear the answer nonetheless.
Okay, so the funkiest hair color I've done on someone.
Yeah.
So it's crazy because like I do a lot of like vivid and fantasy color work. So I'm like I don't even know where to start. I guess this project was kind of crazy. So this girl brought in a bandana. It was like one of those trippy like geometric pattern bandanas with a bunch of colors.
Okay.
And she told me she wanted her hair to look like the bandana. So I actually matched the tones to what colors were on the bandana and just like placed them in certain ways. And it ended up being honestly like one of the coolest things I've ever done. But the inspiration was a bandana. Who would have thought?
That's insane.
That's
Actually,
very interesting.
Yeah.
Like, I've never heard of that.
dude.
Yeah,
Like, do things like that happen a lot where people bring like weird references for their hair?
So it's kind of funny because a lot of hairstylists don't like when people bring in inspiration that aren't hair. But for me, I actually prefer if people bring in things for inspiration that aren't hair, because when you're looking at a picture of hair, you expect, maybe subconsciously, it to be an exact replication.
Right.
Since I'm not a
Interesting.
copy machine, your hair texture is different. Your hair color is different. There's a lot that goes into it, even chemically wise, that I can't recreate something perfectly. So a lot of the times I may ask someone like, okay, well, can you show me in nature the tones that you're looking for? So I really do actually love doing stuff like that, because then I think it sets a more realistic expectation too.
Kind of a more artistic approach of doing hair too. It's like it's not
Yep.
it's not a matter of essentially copying someone else's art. It's like taking inspiration from the world around you and being like, okay, cool, I can make art, or I can make hair art out of this image that has nothing to do with it. Very interesting approach to that.
It is, yeah.
interesting.
Very
Yeah.
creative.
Yeah,
For,
I
for
I
not
actually
being
did a
able to draw a
whole
stick figure, very artistic.
Yeah.
I did a whole a photo shoot collection based off of pictures of space.
Ooh.
So I really do get into like inspiration that isn't hair. I also have a few clients who will draw photos of their haircuts if they want, and then bring in portraits they've drawn of themselves because they can't find the exact haircuts they're looking for on Pinterest. So that's also cool.
That's very different.
I saw that you shared that photo shoot on social media recently, the space one.
Yeah.
Would you mind if we like took some of those photos and posted them on the
No.
page? Because I honestly, I'll
Absolutely.
show you guys afterwards. They're really fucking cool.
Yeah.
The space imagery in the hair, it's fucking cool. So awesome. I just wanted to get your permission on that. So
Yeah, absolutely. Of course.
Awesome.
cool. Kind of in the similar vein, like that Billy asked, as far as like crazy requests, like, can you talk to us like, yeah, the craziest or worst thing that ever happened to you at the job, whether it be in your own business or when you worked for other people?
I'm like the craziest. There's been a lot of really crazy things, honestly. When you work with people, you never know what exactly you're going to be getting into. So yeah, I've definitely had some experiences where I'm like, I don't know if I want to see this person again.
Switching gears, I know something that like a really hot button topic, especially when owning your own business or doing something like a service like you do, is like people expressing that services cost too much or too little or they're expensive. And it's like, can you talk to us a little bit what goes into the pricing element of your services and how you go about managing that?
Absolutely. So for all of my pricing for my services, I do length based pricing. So I don't have like a set necessarily like how do I say like this is where things start. I have like length, so like short haircuts, medium haircuts, long haircuts, and then all of my color services are also based the same way. So I don't do gendered pricing. A lot of hairstylists will do women's haircuts, and it's men have long hair, women have short hair. People maybe don't identify as either. It's not my place to put someone in a box that doesn't need to be put in a box. So with color, the price can fluctuate based on how intricate what they're looking for is and how much time it takes. But I would say length definitely has different pricing, and then it can be adjusted from there depending on what they want.
And for someone who's been in the industry for as long as you have, can you kind of like talk through a little bit of like what your pricing is and like what exactly that is?
Yeah, so I would say my haircuts range from 65 to 85. So shorter clipper cuts being 65 and longer haircuts being 85. And then a lot of my color services, it can kind of have a pretty big range. But for just like a simple Oliver color is about like 160 on mid-length hair, where a lightning service can go $500+ depending on how intricate the work is.
Wow.
I mean, you pay for the quality,
Yeah.
right? Like you've been in the industry for 16 years, you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like you want a good outcome. Like you have to be ready to shell out the dough.
Yeah. Well, and unfortunately too, I mean, everyone is feeling this, but the cost of doing business has gone up ridiculously, to the point where even with what I'm charging, I am not able to keep up with that. Like I am making more money, but like less money at the same time.
Yeah, your
Things in the
dollar doesn't go
industry.
as far.
Yep. There's been about a 25% increase in products to run my business from 2018 to now. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah,
25% from
about
20.
25. Hmm.
That's like less than 10 years, dude. That's insane.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like a box of gloves went from $12 in 2019, and then when COVID kind of lockdown ended, they went up to like $20 a box, and that was just like 1 year.
Dude, that is
Yeah.
disgusting.
That's crazy because I used to work at
Yeah.
Portillo's, and that was a thing. Like they stopped allowing so many. They locked the gloves up, right? So it wasn't like you could just go grab gloves and just use as many
Dude,
as you
they
want.
locked the
They
gloves.
locked them up, and you had to
That's
have a manager go
insane.
get them for you when you needed to switch gloves. It was crazy because they were getting crazy expensive.
Dude, that's so
Yep.
fucking
Yeah.
wild.
No, it's just like those little things that you don't realize, but when everything goes up, those little things add up. And I use a lot of gloves. So that $8 increase in a box of gloves, like ouch.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going through freaking a especially I imagine, because you use them mainly for color services, I imagine, right? Like, if you have like a whole week's worth of color services, like, I imagine you're probably going through damn near a whole box.
Yeah, it is a lot. This is a personal problem for sure, but I am very picky about the way things feel, and the specific gloves I like to use, the texture of them is really nice to work with. So I could buy cheaper gloves, but I just don't like the way they feel in my hands.
Sure. I mean, it all goes back to the quality
So
thing. Like, yeah, like
yeah,
you know what you like, and you know how to deliver the good service. It's like
yeah.
you got to shell out for the good gloves, man.
I'm just picky.
So we talked a little bit about the pros of you owning your own business. What would you say like the pros would be about working for a business? Are there any sort of
Um,
pros in that world?
Yeah, I think working for someone, especially when you are new to the industry, is really great because you're always going to have some sort of foot traffic. And the amount of marketing that you're going to have to do for yourself is a lot less when you are employed for someone, where if you are self employed, you are to find out all of your clients and everything on your own. So it is helpful to have a little bit of a boost from working for someone.
Sounds like you have a lot less responsibility when you're working for someone.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm sure.
it's like, oh, that's their problem. That's their problem.
Yeah, like they handle all the marketing. I'm sure the
Yeah.
inventory.
Marketing,
Like
the
I
accounting,
imagine you
all
don't
that.
have to buy your own stuff really. When like, do you have to provide your own stuff?
So, I mean, this is kind of crazy because I have learned working for myself now. So, when you are a commissioned stylist, you are employed for someone, they are to supply everything like color, your gloves. The only thing that you should be supplying are like your shears, your blow dryer, like your hard tools that you use. The salon should be supplying everything else. I've seen a lot in this industry, and for anyone who is thinking about getting into this is really good to know. A lot of salon owners will try to prey on people who don't legally know the difference between W-2 and 1099. So people will be a 1099 commissioned employee, and that is a misclassification.
Ooh,
So I
good
found that
one.
a lot of hairstylists are falling into being a booth renter, self-employed, but they are to have to follow a dress code, a strict guideline, and there's been a lot of blurring of the lines. So if you are a commissioned stylist and you're W-2 and you're to be supplying the color for your clients, that is illegal.
That is fantastic to know. I would not have even
Yeah.
thought of asking a question
It
about
is,
that.
yeah. No, it's because they're trying to evade paying taxes, or pay less taxes. So that's something that's actually really important because I see so many people in this industry fall to that, and you end up getting screwed on your taxes in the end, like bad.
You have to
Yeah.
pay a lot.
Yeah, 1099s
Yep,
are
'cause then
like to
you're
do them are
responsible.
fucking expensive,
Yeah.
dude.
It's horrible. Yeah.
Trust me, I know.
I just finished.
Yeah. So yeah.
Rita's like preaching it to the fucking choir.
Yeah, 1099 employee is not a thing. 1099 is self-employed. You supply everything for yourself. a commission stylist or hourly stylist is a W-2. The salon provides everything for you other than your working tools.
That is a very good distinction.
Kind of to go back to the day-to-day experience and kind of operations that you deal with. I know, of course, in the salon industry, styles are always constantly changing and stuff from one to another. How do you stay up to date with these trends and within the beauty community?
Since I'm a hair color educator for Redken, which is one of the largest hair color manufacturers in the United States. I keep up on a lot just from kind of being in the know about their new product launches and things that, they're trying to push to be trending. So I do kind of get to see some of that sneak peek of what is coming up that helps me stay current. But I will say too, my clientele that I have isn't like your standard, like what you see trending is what they want. I do a lot of really like alternative, queer hair, really just like out of the box. So the trends that I see with my clientele are also slightly different than what like the average person kind of has too. So I get a little more exciting stuff.
How do you go about learning a new skill too? Because like, and I may very well just be 2000 and late to most things, but like I'm like thinking about trends that I'm familiar with, like fades and stuff like that. Like those weren't necessarily a thing that I recall growing up with when I was in like junior high and high school, but like over the years have become really popular, or different trends like that. Like how do you go about, like, do new tools come out that help you do those things? Do you have to take the tools that you own and are like, okay, cool, I know how to do this thing now? Like how do you go about, like, not just keeping up with trends, but learning the skills associated with those trends?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say this kind of comes down to the way that I learned how to do hair. So a lot of hairstylists will learn like follow this sectioning, follow the way I'm holding my finger on every single client to get this haircut. It's like a roadmap. The way that I learned doing hair is not cutting everything a specific way to achieve that haircut because head shapes are different, hair texture is different. So I learned how to cut to the head shape and the principles of how hair works, color and cutting. And that has actually helped me be able to look at a photo without watching a tutorial of how to achieve something and break something down about what the shapes look like that I'm seeing or how the color is laying and how I would apply the head shape to that.
Do head shapes have names?
Head shapes do not, but face shapes do.
Got it. So like, what is my face shape? Just, I'm curious. And we're gonna do Billy and Ron too. Don't worry. We're gonna do all three of our face
I would say yours is a little bit more on like the diamondy side.
Oh,
Mine's a heart.
I have a diamond head. My head's better, bastards. Mine
is a heart.
I just say it's gonna be hard to beat diamond.
Diamond.
But I have a beard, so.
Oh, that's true. Can you tell face
It
shape?
is hard. It's crazy how much a beard changes the face shape too.
So this is Ron.
All right, smush your beard down.
Smush your beard down. Can I make a guess? I'm gonna guess his face is meaty buff boy face. I think that's what his is called.
Okay, how do you smash my beard?
I know. I'm like, I can't see. I think it may be a little more like square.
You have a nice see a nice square meaty buff boy
that
face.
jawline.
That chisel, baby. All right, so
Yeah,
okay,
I'm like,
and then
now
Billy's
that
face.
you're smoothing it out. Hold on, take your hat off.
Oh yeah,
I
hats
can't
off
see what's
there.
up there.
A nice shiny bald head.
Yeah, I would say yours is like an oval.
It sounds about right.
I told y'all weren't gonna beat Diamond. I told you guys, Diamond is king. No, I was kidding.
man.
That's some variety up in here.
I was just really curious. I lost my train of thought completely. Who's got a question?
So just the kind of the last question, kind of on like your day-to-day experience. Of course, you probably deal with a lot of clients from all types of range. When it comes to finishing their kind of like their request, their hairstyle, whatever that may be, what is the most rewarding part of your job, or things that you've experienced?
I just think one of the most rewarding things is seeing people feel confident and happy. It's crazy. Like, people don't realize how much your hair affects how you feel inside too.
Has there ever been like a time where like you done someone's hair and it came out better than they expected and they're just kind of like speechless or jaw dropped?
Yeah, that happens a bit. So I kind of live by the motto of like under promise and over deliver. So I always set the expectation, even if I know something is probably achievable. I give them the chance that, maybe this doesn't come out exactly, and it might be a process that we work towards. Because then if it does come out exactly what they wanted, they are even more excited because I set them up for the possibility that it might be a little bit more of a process.
On like giving advice, like you got to end it with the "I don't know though."
Yeah, I don't know though. That's how I end most advice that I give. Plausible deniability. I don't know though. That's just me. I don't know.
I'm not an expert. I just do it. I don't know if there's a science behind it. I'm just.
Have you ever had to like talk someone out of a hairstyle that they've come to you with, like, oh, I really want this, and you have to be like, trust me, you don't want that?
Absolutely. Yes, I am very realistic as well. First, I have a rule. A lot of this, I don't do impulsive decisions, especially if I don't really know a client that well. I tell people, like, make sure you think about this for like 1 month. Do you want bangs because you want bangs and you've been thinking about it, or are you having a crisis right now and want to chop your bangs off, and then you're going to be upset that I let you do it?
Because it's really easy to blame the stylist versus like blame the decision making.
And I'm not having someone cry in my chair. No, I'm not having that happen. Be mad at yourself, not me.
It's a cry-free zone.
And you know what though? I think so. I've had that happen to me before. I've been humbled, right? But so when I go out and say if I have like a male barber and say, hey, I want this, they'll be like, yeah, sure. They'll give it to you. They don't care whether they think you're gonna look good or not. You go to a female barber or stylist. I mean. And the first time I went, I was like, hey, I showed her a picture. I was like, I want this. And she paused for a second and she looked at me. She's like, why don't we try something else? That moment just hit me. I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, I just think that something else will look better than this. And you should probably go towards it. But this is not it for you. Very humbling. That was
hey, yeah, I mean, yeah, she's like your square meaty face. Yeah, this ain't it, bro. This ain't the look.
This ain't working. Like,
yeah, and I mean, even sometimes it's not even necessarily that like it may not look good on them. Sometimes people don't want to put effort into doing their hair, and it may be too much maintenance. And I know, especially like people tell me like, "Oh no, I will do the work." And then next time they come back, they're like, yeah, no, actually, you were right. This is too much. So if someone like does not feel like they're going to be committed to it, I will also try to talk them out of it because it's going to suck if you lighten your hair to do pastel pink. And then you tell yourself, I'm going to get it refreshed every 2 weeks. And then you don't, like things like that.
I do think that is kind of what drew me to like being a returning client of yours when we first met, because I don't know if you recall, but I believe I told you before going to see you regularly to get haircuts, I would absolutely dread getting haircuts because like I felt like every single time I got one, I was so particular with how it needed to look. Otherwise, I just looked like a fucking troll. That like I think I went one of the times I went to go get a haircut from you. I think you did that exact thing where you're like, can I just try something? Just trust me, try something. And I think it came out, and it came out it was probably one of the best haircuts I've ever had. And like it does, that shit makes a difference because it's like, oh my god, like I've been so terrified of going to get a haircut for years because of just how hideous I feel like I come out of them looking, that like all it took was one person just being honest with me and being like, hey, this ain't it. I got you. Trust me. I got this. And like it changes everything. As someone who grew up with a lot of horrible haircuts and a lot of horrible hair decisions, it's refreshing to just get that honesty from someone. Just tell me what you're the professional. I'm just a hobo coming off the street.
Yeah, right. Tell me what I'm going to go out in the world and look good with. Because I don't want to go out there looking like a dummy.
Yeah, I'm going to look like a jabroni. I'm going to look like an idiot. Just tell me what
you think you look good. Everyone's like, fucking haircut is that?
Who the fuck is this guy? No,
Where did you get that haircut? So I don't go there.
exactly.
I know I do.
I have a lot of horrible haircuts, decisions that I made from
believe it or
back in
not,
the day.
believe it or not, which is why I went bald, is because how bad it went.
I was about to say, when I met you, you had a little bit of hair,
Yes.
but
Yes, after things went south and I just said screw it and pulled a Britney and just all of it.
you pulled a
Pulled a
Britney.
Britney.
Yes, I literally, long story short, I saw my hair one day on a security camera while working overnight, and I didn't like the way it looked. I was like, oh my God, no one ever said anything this entire time. So I said, screw it. Thought about it the entire night, kept me up all night. When I got off at work in the morning, went home and said, I'm Britney, bitch. And just,
Just shaved it.
yeah. And I was like, now I
I
shaved
love
it.
that.
I have to now continue it because I can't walk around looking with a stripe down the middle and hair on both sides. So I was like, I just got to finish it.
You had a little thin mohawk just down the middle.
Exactly. Yeah.
Dude, that's wild, man.
Honestly, you should probably rock
That's
that.
actually-
You have to.
Oh my god. That's funny. Because I had a client who wanted to shave her head once. And I was about to shave it, and I asked her if she wanted my clippers to do the first pass, and she was like, "Oh hell yeah!" And this is when Brittany's like, all this stuff was coming out about her dad and all of that, and the big
The
Free Britney
conservatorship
thing.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I handed her my clippers, and she like wanted me to like record her shaving her head, and she turns it on, looks at me and goes, "Free Britney," and then shaved her head. Was not expecting that.
Yo, fucking represent Britney.
Yeah, so free Britney.
I'll be honest. I've had a Britney bitch moment too during COVID. It was right around when everyone was kind of bitching about, oh my God, we can't get haircuts because of COVID. What the fuck? Like everyone was getting all mad. I was like, you know what? Like my hair's looking a little grubby. I'm not going to be that guy, so I'm just going to shave my head bald. Realized very quickly I'm not a good looking bald guy. My head shape is not great for that. Also, I woke my wife. Like my wife would wake up screaming for like a good week because she kept forgetting I was bald. And she was like, I kept thinking there was a stranger in the bed next to me. So she would
I
just
don't
wake
think
up
I heard
screaming.
this story before.
Yeah, she would literally wake up screaming. She's like, oh God, she's like, I'm fine. I forgot you were bald. She's like, I thought someone else was in the bed with me. I was like, what the fuck? So yeah, after that, I had to give up the bald life. I was like, nope, I need hair. I need hair.
Oh my god, hilarious.
When I ever feel like that, I just take it out on my beard, right? Because like I'm not getting rid of my head hair because I don't know how I'm gonna look bald. I've done it once, don't remember, but I'm not risking it. Like I'm not gonna shave my head and then I just look weird. So I was like, no, I'll take it out on my beard and have one of those moments, like shave my beard, and it'll be good.
See, but you and Billy have the luxury of having deliciously voluptuous beards. Like mine's just a stringy goober mess. Like this goatee and mustache is like the most I can do. Like if I do anything on the side, it's all patchy and it's all neck beardy, and I cannot be doing no neck beard shit.
Oh no.
So yeah, so y'all are lucky. You got beards to fuck around with. I have this little stringy mess, and then what's on top of my noggin.
One of these days, I'm gonna come in with your low goatee. I'm gonna shave all the
Oh, you're
sides
gonna
off.
get-
I'll let it- I've had it before. I could pull up a picture of it.
Some
when
real
I've had it.
sophistication, bro.
It was
It's
actually
real
like
classy.
a
My,
biker or something.
Ooh.
My brother, he had, well, he's not anymore, but he had really long, flushes, like red hair, right? And like, for example, from this image is an older image from like October, as you can probably see. And so the other day he said, screw it.
Oh.
And just decided to
He went
shave.
bald. Hang on, let me turn this camera around real quick. Show her both those pictures.
So this is an older photo of my brother about from October with his dog. And
Okay.
just recently his hair got a lot more longer. So he said, screw it. And just,
Oh.
yeah. Yeah. And so then he tried to,
He's like, I've had enough.
and then of course tried to mock me, put on some glasses.
oh heck yeah. Honestly,
Oh, that's so funny.
the resemblance is uncanny
Yeah.
though, a little bit. No, Billy, you have a solid bald head. Like it's a nice shape, has a nice shine to it.
It's funny because like when I decided to go bald, all the bald guys I'm on Facebook with were like, yo, welcome to the club. We accept you, bro. Like I love it. Keep it going.
We've been waiting for you, bro.
Exactly.
Your admission has been accepted.
Now you just gotta grow your beard real long.
Yes,
You should
that's
just do
I
it.
am. I'm trying. I get to the point where I get it long, and then I'm just like, ugh, and I just shave it off, and I'm like, why did I just do that? I should just kept it. And so I'm trying to get that patience to hold on to it.
It's the patience. Don't have it.
So when you get to that point when you're like, I want to shave it off, just be like, you know what? I'll give it one more week. If I don't like it, I'll shave it. And then you're just gonna.
Rena's like, I know all about beards, guys. Beard talk. Do you just do hair, right? You don't do facial hair, nothing like that.
I mean, like, I'll do like basic grooming, but I'm not like doing any crazy beard shaping.
Yeah. Is that like
I didn't go to barber school, so like that is beyond my skill level.
you know what, that's actually a really good question. Like if you know, what's the difference between beauty school and barber school?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, beauty school, I will say from what I have seen and heard, well, beauty school, for one, cosmetology school covers hair, skin, and nails.
Oh.
So, we do, it's primarily focused on hair, but we do cover like waxing, facials, nail services, makeup. When we get into the hair portion, they're very heavy on shear cutting, so using scissors, and then a lot of color. We spend a lot of time over color and long haircuts. I honestly don't even think I learned how to use clippers in beauty school, or if I did, it was like one guard. Where barber school's a lot more focused on clipper work. They still do teach some color and like longer haircuts, but their focus is doing clipper cuts and shorter haircuts, beards, and straight razor shaves. In Illinois, you have to be a licensed barber to use a straight razor. So hairstylists who don't have a dual license cannot.
Interesting.
Are there a lot of like between the two, those who go to beauty school and those who go to barber school, is there like a need for one versus the other? Like, is there more people going to beauty school than barber school? Is being a beauty, being in the beauty, taking that route? Are there more opportunities as far as jobs go, or is it kind of like a 50-50 split?
I would say it depends on what someone wants to do more behind the chair. If someone wants to be more focused on color and like longer haircuts, beauty school is probably better. If someone wants to do a lot of clipper works and fades, barber school would be probably better suited for them. But in Illinois, if you are licensed in one already, you can do the other for $500, I believe. I should say if you are a licensed cosmetologist in Illinois, you can do barber school for 500 hours to get that license as well. I don't know if you have a barber's license to go to cosmetology, like how that works.
Got it.
But I do know if you do hair in Illinois, you could just do an extra 500 hours of barber school to get your barber's license.
Nice.
So I do actually know quite a few people who have gone into barber school recently to get a dual license as well.
Got it. Because the reason I ask is like it seems like so we work at a place that has like a spa and salon in there, and it does seem like something that's really hard for us to lock down is like a regular barber. We can get a lot of stylists that cut hair, but we only really have one area for a barber, and it seems super hard to be able to kind of keep one for a long period of time. So I was kind of curious if that was something that's kind of standard or if that's kind of abnormal.
Yeah, I really think it's going to come down to the kind of clientele that comes through the place that you work at too. Because I also find that people who do a lot of like fades for their haircuts and stuff like that are very also particular. And people who get really tight fades and things like that are very loyal to the people that they see. Just like as a general example, like a lot of men specifically are very, very loyal to the people who cut their hair. And honestly, a lot of my male clients have told me it's because they don't want to have to re-explain what they want to someone else.
Honestly.
So I just find that people who typically do see barbers are usually like, oh, I like you, you do a good job, I'm never leaving. So it may be hard when you don't have a lot of that kind of clientele coming in to be able to build yourself. So that would be kind of maybe my guess. But I do think being a barber, you can build the clientele. It just depends on where you're working, I guess.
Sure. As it pertains to like dealing with hair of different people of different races or ethnicities, like sometimes like you'll hear like, oh, I go to a black barber or whatever, and it's like because they specialize or they're more familiar with different types of hair. Like, are there any hurdles or anything that you have overcome in sort of that vein of like dealing with different types of hair or hair that maybe you're not as familiar with, and how you go about maneuvering that? Or is it something that you sort of outsource and be like, hey, you know what, this is not a hair I'm familiar with, you should go to this person?
Yeah, so I will say it does kind of suck because I feel like it's going to school for cosmetology, they don't really teach you how to work with textured hair. Unless you work in an area where you're going to have an opportunity to work with a lot of different hair textures. But a lot of the times I've heard as a general complaint for a lot of people in this industry, working with highly textured hair is not something that you really learn. So it is hard because if your hair texture is more maybe like mine, like where it's a lot finer, people with that really coarse, curly textured hair may look at you and be like, well, she doesn't have my hair type, she's not going to know what to do. So it is kind of hard to get knowledge and expertise in doing that when you kind of aren't like given the chance to. So luckily, like I have gotten over time to kind of work with different hair textures, and I wouldn't say I'm an expert at anything, but like I do feel confident in my abilities to do a lot of things on other hair textures as well. But when people reach out to me and tell me, like, hey, this is my hair texture, are you comfortable with this? I'll say I am comfortable, but just as I don't do this, don't work with a specific hair type all the time, so that they have the understanding of like, if you're looking for a specialist for this, it's not me. I can do the job, but if you want someone who literally just specializes in that, then probably not suited to see me.
Yeah, you have that transparency of them of being like, hey, I can do this, but if it's that peace of mind you're looking for 100%, then there are other options and maybe you should explore those.
Yep.
That's
yeah.
cool.
So I just like to be realistic with people because your hair is such an important thing to people. And if, I don't feel like maybe my skill level is going to match their expectations, I'd rather just be honest about that up front.
Have you ever had a beauty disaster while doing somebody's hair or witnessed one while you were working?
Oh yeah. No, I've definitely had them. I mean, being in this industry for so long, like it's bound to happen eventually. Towards the beginning of my career, I definitely had something that now thinking about it makes me want to go crawl in a hole and die. But yeah, so this is kind of embarrassing, but I was just a wee baby hairstylist. So the salon that I worked at, we didn't follow things to the manufacturer's instructions. I didn't know that was even really a thing because I just kind of saw people do things around me and thought like, oh, that's how you're supposed to do it. So I had someone I put underneath the dryer and her hair came out. And I learned afterwards
her hair came
that,
out?
Yeah.
I was like, her hair came out bad. I was expecting her to
that's what
see.
I was thinking.
No, like she lost some hair. So that was when I learned that like, yeah, brands have rules for a reason, and if other people around you break the rules, that doesn't mean you should too. So I am very like, I use things exactly as the manufacturer intends them to be used. Because yeah, when you melt someone's hair off, it is quite traumatizing, and it's not a fun experience. So I will never use that.
Oh God!
At least it was in the beginning.
Yeah, I mean that sounds like a lesson learned the hard way. I'm just still caught on the fact that it was like my hair came out or hair came out. I was expecting a bad hair came out weird or odd.
Nope.
But just off.
Nope, just off her head.
Hair came out hard period. Hard stop. Dude, that was awesome. Also my worst nightmare.
Yeah, I still have nightmares about it, and that was probably like 14 years ago.
And have you ever made that mistake again though?
No.
Exactly. You do it once and it's like, nope, good. We'll never make that mistake a second
Never
time.
again. No, that was enough to traumatize me for the rest of my career.
As far as moving on to moving back to a little bit to the financial element, like seeing as how you own your own business and you're in charge of like your own inventory, I'm big on asking the financial questions because I do feel like that is a hurdle that keeps people from diving into a field or exploring an interest of theirs. Like, if you had to ballpark it, like how much do you think or would you roughly spend on keeping your inventory stocked with colors and equipment that you need? If you had to put a ballpark to it.
I was actually just thinking, because I get like a tax form of my spending at the beauty supply store every year. Trying to think of 2024, I think just on like hair color supplies and stuff alone was about like between the 5 to 7 thousand. Um, just on like hair color. But also I pay rent for my space, tool maintenance, like getting my shears sharpened. There's a lot of things besides just buying product that go into it too.
Yeah.
Like my shears, I have 9 pairs of shears and they're $35 a pair to get sharpened.
Whoa, say that one more time. My brain did not fathom that. What, one more
Oh,
time?
I have 9 pairs of shears that I use for work, and they're $35 a pair to get sharpened.
Jesus.
So yeah, so that's like to get my tools sharpened every few months is a lot of money, even like there. So it's like hair color is a big expense.
Yeah.
But then it's like maintaining all of the stuff I have. And I'm also very clumsy, and this is 100% a personal problem, but I trip over everything. And I have broke so many blow dryers and clippers because of my clumsiness too.
And like so roughly around 7,000 you mentioned, like how often or how frequently are you paying that to keep your inventory stocked?
So that was just from where I get my hair color from. For that was last year about
Oh god, so it's for the
seven.
year,
I think like
a
7.
year's worth ish.
Yeah, yeah, and that was just kind of like hair, like mostly like color. I would say now because of like big stores selling things online, I don't necessarily do a lot of sales with products like I used to,
Hmm.
because it's the way prices have gone up with stuff, and the way salons charge from wholesale prices and stuff like that. It's not really the same as it used to be because now you can get undercut by like Walmart or Ulta. Um, so I would say if you are going to be stocking products and things like that, you're going to have a higher expense to get all of that stuff in. I personally just keep that minimal just because
Yeah,
a lot of people do shop online.
yeah, because you don't sell product, right? You essentially you purchase the product that you use or you plan to
I
use
do,
roughly.
yeah. I used to sell a lot of stuff, but now I kind of have slimmed down what I carry on my shelves for people to take home if they want, because a lot of stuff just kind of sat for so long, and
Yeah.
noticed that it wasn't really. So I kind of just like phased out of stocking things. People just have been buying. It's convenient. I get it. You can just click order and it'll be at your door in 2 days.
Sometimes less. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's just the reality of the situation. Like everyone just wants convenience. So
It's hard not to,
Hard
yeah.
not to.
I know Trust me, I'm guilty of it too.
As someone who has a Taco Bell that's 2 blocks from his apartment and still yet orders Taco Bell to be delivered, convenience is key, y'all. Convenience is key.
It is.
Heck yeah. Any other questions, gents?
Yeah, I wanted to jump back into with you being a Redken educator. Like, why don't you dive into that? How did you get involved with that, or how did you, become something with them?
That was a lot. So I actually, when I went to cosmetology school, when I first started, I went to a school that was affiliated with Redken. So we used all of their products, hair color, a lot of the curriculum and stuff that we used were Redken artists teaching haircuts, things like that. So I watched a video of one of the Redken artists doing a haircut demo, and I was like, dang, I would actually really love to be like that one day. And I guess I just kind of set that goal for myself when I was just starting out. And I really liked getting into learning about hair. Um, and it really inspired me to want to give that to other people and make other people feel the way that I did when I learned new things.
So was it like an application process where you had to be like, okay, cool, I'm Ryna, I
Oh,
want to do this, and it's like, what were the steps to get from where you
yeah.
were
Okay.
to becoming one?
So, yes, this is a lot. So you have to be certified in hair color through them or cutting. So after you pass cosmetology school, you have to obviously be licensed. They have like a program for, they have like a specialist program where you kind of go through like a couple day class, and they go over in depth about all their products, their color, how things work. After you finish that, then there is another portion that you would do after. It's called the hair color certification or the design or finishing certification, depending on what you want to do. It's basically like an 8 hour long test. It's like a whole day test. You go over, you have like a technical portion, a multiple choice portion, and then like a short answer portion. Really intense. So you have to pass that. And then you apply. There was this huge questionnaire I filled out. I had to send over my service numbers for a few months. I had to send in a video of me teaching something. And then I got a phone interview. Once I got noticed that I was accepted to the artist induction program, I had to fly to New York. I did I think 4 days of training in New York. And then I've had to go to Tampa, do another few days of training there, and then a few more. So it was months of
I was about to
this
say,
actually.
it sounds like a grueling
That is
process.
intense.
Yeah, it actually was. So there was about 50, I think 54 people in my group. Oh, most of them don't work for the company anymore. So like it really weeds people out. It was very intense. Like
Yeah.
I cried a lot in the bathroom.
You have to definitely want it bad enough, it sounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because like the day before or the day of the cutoff for application, the year I applied, I was really defeated, and I told myself like, better luck next year. I scrapped my video. Someone came into the salon, a friend of the owner who was a Redken artist, and he was like, "Oh, how's your video coming?" I was like, "I'm not submitting this year." And he goes, "But do you want it?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Then do it." So I went home and refilmed a new video and sent it like 1 minute before cutoff.
Ooh.
You know, it's so funny. It's so surprising to me how many stories that we hear from people, because we interviewed someone, Mandy, our first interview, whether it's our first episode or first interview or whatever, we're not totally sure. But she had kind of a similar story where she, I think it was regarding her bodybuilding competitions. She really wanted to do it, but then kind of talked herself out of it. And someone else was like, no, you want this, freaking do it. If you don't want it bad enough, then don't. But if you want it, like, then do it. And that was kind of like her nexus event of really getting into those competitions. So I feel like we all at one point or another have someone in our lives that is like, if you want it, do it. Stop wasting time. And that's where a lot of us begin our journeys.
Sometimes it's
Yep.
all you
I
need to
went
hear.
home and just told myself, "I'm doing it."
How do you think your personal style or vision influences the branding of your salon?
The branding of, well, like I said earlier, it kind of looks like a unicorn threw up in my space. My aesthetic, the way I brand myself and my business is very true to myself. I like to express myself with clothes and fashion and things like that. I like sparkly things. So a lot of that has translated into the way my business looks. And because of that, too, it kind of brings the type of clientele that I want to me. Since I don't do a lot of just like normal quote unquote things, people tend to be attracted to the unicorn threw up in my space vibe.
So when it comes to getting clients, right? Like, how did you find your first client, or I would say your first loyal client that you're the ones that come back, and then what was your process like building up your clientele?
Yeah. So I would say when I first started, I worked in a commission salon, so I didn't have to put in much work necessarily to bring clients in. Like the salon would have people who would come into the salon. Um, I would say my best advice for people who want to retain clients is being personable. And then also taking the time to educate clients on how simple things like how to blow dry their hair. Building that trust will get them to come back to you. So that was kind of what I found in the beginning was what helped me when I got those clients from the salon, make them want to come back to me.
And how many clients do you say, like, how many loyal clients, rough estimate, would you say that you work with?
Ooh, it's really, I mean, it's really hard to say because of how different a lot of the services are. Because like I have some clients, I have someone who she gets her haircut every 3 weeks. And then I have some people I see every almost like clockwork every 18 months. Because like for my client every 3 weeks, she's got a really short fade, so she has to come more often.
Mm.
Or my really long haired clients who have like that color that looks really natural and like it grew out of their head only have to come every year and a half to refresh it. So it's kind of hard to give like a rough estimate, just because there's a lot of factors. I think though, if I looked in my book, the clients that I think I have like 360 clients that I've seen in the 5 years that I have worked for myself. Which to some people that may not be a lot, but the way that I work, I only work one on one with someone too, so I
Yeah.
don't have like 10 people crammed in between, color service and haircuts. So I do try to like give individualized attention, and I do spend a lot of time with my clients as well.
Speaking of, on that note too, like I know when I book services with you, like I get a text, I get an email, I get a lot of like automated things to like help keep my schedule organized, which I'm sure help benefits your schedule, keeping you organized too. What are some things that people should consider when going into this field that they should maybe look to invest in order to keep their schedules clean, organized, so that way they're not having scheduling errors or they're need to memorize all their sessions per day, right? Like what are some resources that are out there that you recommend or something that they need to consider?
So there are a lot of booking softwares out there now. Online booking is becoming a huge thing in the industry. Convenience. Sometimes people just don't like to talk to other people, and it's just easier to go online and book. So that's really nice because a lot of those will set up a website for you. You will have your schedule, so you just type in like you will have your service list, and then you put your clients in. You pick what services, what time, the timing of the service. So your schedule's all there. And then you can also dictate, like, do you want to double book? Double booking is where if you have a color while she's sitting, you do a haircut in between. So some people do like to work that way. Some people don't. So with the scheduling services, you can make the choice also on how it's going to optimize your schedule. I think that is a great thing to use because it does take a lot of the work out of having to schedule for yourself, and then also the convenience of having like the automatic reminders because some people who may work by like an old school like appointment book where you write things down then will either have to confirm with their clients directly or just hope that their clients remember, and then you deal with a lot of cancellations and no shows. So the online booking thing and the booking software has really helped me so that I don't have to do that, and it really limits the amount of cancellations and no shows I get.
Do you have a software that you recommend?
I use Gloss Genius. That one is designed specifically for the beauty industry. Square is another one that people use. And there's a few other out there. I like the one that I use because it's just like really user friendly and really simple.
I have like 12 different scheduling apps just to keep my normal white bread life in order, let alone someone who works around bookings and shit for a living.
I think I stressed myself out. I use my notes app. I just
You're a
put
notes
this
boy?
day, and then this is like say Monday, and then I'll put all the tasks I have to do Monday, Tuesday, and then I'll start doing that.
So because I work like 3 jobs now, I use this app called Time Tree, and essentially it's like a shared calendar amongst you and like everyone you want to share it with. So like me and my wife share one, so that way when I update something, she sees it and I see all the stuff that she has. So it's like all on one calendar. I'm pretty sure Google or Apple does that too, but I like Time Tree how they do it. But yeah, between like game shows and podcast stuff and fitness, it's like I have so much stuff on different weird days and no day is the same. So organization is not natural for me.
I kind of stick with a mix.
Same.
I stick with a mix of writing it down and on the phone. So when it comes to like paying bills and when's due, I put it on an actual calendar that hangs on a wall.
You fucking nerd.
And then it's like, okay, I know on this payday, this pay week will cover this stuff. Next one will cover the following stuff. And then when it comes to like appointments for doctors, dentists, whatever it may be, then that goes into like the Apple Calendar, where it's like a pop up randomly.
The big one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's kind of a mix of old school writing it, but with new school putting it in technology. Kind of going back to the programming and the stuff that you use for your business and stuff. Do you, and since AI now is kind of a big thing, do you use AI for anything in your business? And if so, what it is? And if not, do you think it could play a part?
I personally don't use AI for anything in my business. I know some people will have like, so say if someone reaches out to book an appointment, they may have like an AI automated response. For example, just like, hey, you've reached so and so. Here's some prompts like, are you trying to schedule? Are you trying to, something else? And then the AI will respond. I personally feel like that's too impersonal for my liking. So I don't use anything like that, at least now.
Honestly,
I find that for some people it might be helpful, but for me, I just feel I don't like the way that feels to me.
Gotcha.
I mean, I'll be honest. Like, I feel like from like, especially if you're like a chat GPT user, like, I feel like it's often pretty obvious when AI is writing your prompt for you versus like a human. There's just like small like nuances that humans put in their writing or typing that AI just doesn't put because it's so like algorithmic, right? Like everybody has grammar errors every now and then, puts a comma in the wrong spot, but like it's so clean and polished. I feel like it's so glaringly obvious when AI has written something.
Yeah, that's
to be
how I
honest,
feel too.
I'll be honest, AI scares the shit out of me.
And it uses a lot of energy and water, so also I don't love that, and I would like to use it as little as possible.
Has anyone ever come in with like an AI piece of art in order to like
I was gonna say that.
inspire a
Oh
haircut?
yeah. So that's like kind of going back to what I said earlier about how people want the hair to be the inspiration. People bring in pictures of AI stuff all the time. A lot of hairstylists also hate that because it's unrealistic expectations. But I just tell people, like I set them up with the expectation that this was an AI generated photo. So I may be able to achieve something close to that, but computer did the work. So like some of that stuff that happens is like not really possible to do.
Yeah.
Today's world, everyone's using AI for everything now. It's like in everyone's life, and it's just like curious on what the future may become of it.
I mean, like I went to something a week ago where like someone told me their whole speech was generated by AI. And yeah, it's just like while they were reading it, it's like it's something about it. It's like you can tell. It's like there's no
Personality.
There's no personality to it, and like you can tell that it's just trying to get the information out there as precisely and as like algorithmically correct as possible. That I just feel like it takes the human element out of it. I mean, it's lacking emotion.
It kind of scares me too a little bit. It's like I don't know how to say this, but like you just type things into a computer. You don't have to have a dang thought behind anything. You just let the computer do it. Like,
and in seconds.
I don't know. That kind of feels weird to me. Why are people like going to school to do things and all of that and getting degrees if they're having the computer do all the work to get them that degree? That's just my personal opinion. That kind of makes me a little nervous.
Same. I'll think it's also too like it really makes you question everything you see everywhere, because like I listen to Reddit stories, or like I'll just peruse Reddit and stuff like that, and I guess like a common thing right now is AI generated Reddit stories, because because Reddit is all centered around like getting traction and getting views so that you get clout. And like if you type in just a couple sentences into AI or chat GPT of like, hey, write a Reddit story where this happens, they'll write a whole like, you know, a whole compelling story around these things, and people will click on it, get views, and they become viral for absolutely no fucking reason. And it's like, you can't fucking trust anything anymore,
No.
dude.
I mean, now
No.
with it kind of integrating with movie trailers now, like they're making these trailers that look so legit, and you're thinking, oh, this next movie is going to be good. It's not even close to what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, or it's not even really a movie.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
fucking bullshit. Yeah, AI scares me. AI scares the
I
shit.
think even
Yeah,
schools.
same.
I think schools now are using programs to debunk that. So if they can tell if a student uses it for their paper,
Oh, there's like a reverse
Yep.
ChatGPT thing or something out there now.
something like that.
where
Yeah.
it shows that ChatGPT wrote it.
Dude, interesting. Yeah. whew.
Yeah, because it like I've heard of people using it for like their essays and things like that, and I'm like, okay, but then why? Like, why?
What are you getting out of it? Like, why? Like,
Like,
especially.
you're just faking your way through life.
Well, especially in a collegiate setting, because like I'm a huge skeptic of college programs. I think college is a joke. I say that with my whole chest.
Oh,
But like, what the fuck do you get out of doing your whole paper on ChatGPT? You're paying a crap ton of money to be in this field or to study this thing, to let ChatGPT do all the work. Like, what are you getting out of it besides just wasting a shit ton of money? Money that I already think is kind of a waste. Already kind of wasted, to be honest with you,
Right.
most of the time. Yeah, it's insane. It's
I
insane.
think most degrees are pointless. Like there are certain things like if you're gonna go for nursing, okay. If you're gonna be a doctor, yeah. If you're gonna like things like that.
yeah, you
think-
should probably go to school.
I think
Yeah.
honestly, the only fields that I really think need degrees, and this is a hot take, and I'm sure a lot of people have opinions on this. Law degrees,
Yeah.
medical degrees, and some engineering or scientific degrees. Other than that, like to be honest, I went to musical theater college. I won't say it was a waste of my time, but I dropped out. I don't even have a fucking degree. I dropped out after my second year because I was like, everyone in my field was like, oh, well, you know, you're going to spend 4 years here, but then you're going to have to like network and you're going to have to audition and you're probably going to work for free for a long time until you get your break. And it's like, why am I wasting 4 years here then if I could just do that shit now and try to, you know, save a shit ton of money that way? And
Right.
I kind of feel a lot of fields are that way personally. I feel a lot of fields are that way.
Like I mean, there's just people I think that just go to go. Like they get their degree in communications. That's not gonna take you anywhere. And you just spent God knows how much money on that.
I mean, to be honest, once entrepreneurship became a degree that people can get, I was kind of like, okay, this has become a joke. And like, that's not to discredit anyone, like any entrepreneurs out there, but like the idea of being an entrepreneur is like, you know, investing in yourself and making
going
an
the
idea
other
happen and making an idea happen. How do you go about getting a degree and making an idea happen? Because doesn't that depend on the idea?
Yeah.
So sorry if you have a degree in entrepreneurship. I'm sure you use it. I'm just skeptical.
What's one thing like getting into the salon industry? What's one thing that you would tell a new salon owner they should never do?
A new salon owner that they should never do. I'm like, don't misclassify taxes for people. I think it would just be to treat your employees how you would like to be treated if you worked for someone. As simple as that sounds, I think, you know, having a little kindness towards people who work for you goes a long way.
And don't burn
And
the
you'll
hair.
retain your employees better. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Don't burn someone's hair out.
Yeah,
Don't
don't
burn-
melt hair. Try your
Don't
best to
melt
avoid
hair.
in a similar question, like what advice would you give someone who's like, let's say someone who is like you, right? They're 15, they're 14, 15, they think that beauty school is what they want to do. What advice would you give them, or what knowledge would you bestow on them to say like, hey, you know what? This could be good, but you need to know this before you go into it.
I will say, this is something that it's actually a lot different than a lot of people think going into it. This is a hard industry. It's not just about doing hair. And doing hair is not as easy as people think it is. There's a lot of geometry, there's a lot of chemistry that goes into it. Because I do hear a lot of people say, like, "Oh, I'm just going to be a hairstylist and take the easy way out." And the burnout rate in this industry is so high. So many people get into this industry because they think it's easy, and they don't realize, and that's just like the technical aspect of it, not to mention the emotional aspect of what this industry does as well. So that's just something to keep in mind, that like hair is very technical, it is very science based. And then also there's a lot of emotion that does go into the industry too. You have to have tough skin. So that's just all something to kind of factor in. If you don't like school and you don't like learning, doing hair probably isn't the best option either, because this industry is always changing, always evolving. There's always something new to learn. So you gotta keep an open mind if this is what you want to do.
Now, we see this sometimes in the fitness industry, and I've seen this in other industries as well. Do you think that, like, sometimes people get into fitness because they think, "Oh, I like working out, I should go into the fitness industry," or I want to look good, or I want to lose weight, so I should join the fitness industry." I feel like the same thing happens with, like, I've had friends of mine go into the therapy fields, like psychiatry and things like that, because they think, "Oh, I really enjoyed therapy," or "I really like, when I would go to therapy and stuff like that, so I'm gonna become a therapist." And like I often feel like more often than not that doesn't work out. That's not a great motivator into going into those fields. Do you see that some of that happening in the beauty industry as well, where people are like, "I like being pretty, so I want to join the beauty field"?
Yeah, I do. I feel like if you don't have like a true passion for it, because it is a lot more than what people think it is. If you don't have the passion to keep growing and learning and changing and keeping an open mind about new trends and things like that, it's probably not going to work out.
It's not enough just to
In all
want to be pretty.
honesty, no, no. There's a lot that goes into it.
What skills do you believe are essential to run this type of business or even just to be in it?
Let's see, what type of skills? Um, I would honestly say the probably biggest thing that's important for this industry is communication. Your communication skills go farther than your technical skills. Because you can teach anyone how to hold shears, you can teach anyone how to hold a hair color brush. You can't teach people necessarily how to converse and all of that kind of stuff with other people.
Effectively communicate.
Yeah, it's like you have to be able to communicate, and really just like, I guess, like really care about what you do. Because otherwise, if you're just, I don't know, I just feel like if you're like kind of dry and don't really have like the personality to attract people to want to come back to you, it's going to be hard in this industry. So
Yeah.
I would say definitely communicating effectively is probably the most important.
Yeah, I imagine you have to be pretty adaptable.
Yeah. And I feel like we see the same thing in the fitness industry. Like when people get personal trainers, it comes to a point where they're not coming to you for their training anymore. They're coming to you for the relationship you build, the person that you've become with them and all that. So I think that's the most important part down the line.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they can get training from anywhere. Or they can go to another salon. They can get their hair done anywhere. I think it's like you're saying, the communication, the trust you build with that person becomes more important than the work you're doing on them.
Because the thing is, you could be the smartest person in the room, know the most about hair, know the most about hair color, but if you can't effectively communicate that knowledge or communicate it in a way that they resonate with as the client, it doesn't fucking matter how smart you are.
Yeah.
Like, they don't give a shit.
So actually, like a fun fact too, about doing hair. So you can give a great haircut. It could be technically like a flawless haircut, but if you don't take the time to educate the stylist or the client on how they are going to style it like you did at home, they're going to go home, wash it, and then they don't know exactly how to do it the way you did, and it's going to be like, "Oh, this haircut is the worst I've ever had." But you can give someone an okay haircut not bad, but not like, phenomenal, like technical wise. But if you take the time to go over how to hold the brush, what products to use, they can replicate the style at home. They're going to be happier with that than they are someone who's technically good at what they do, but doesn't take the time to give the little details on how to recreate it.
That is actually kind of huge too, because like you're empowering your clients to be able to replicate this look on a daily basis, which is essentially what they want. It's so interesting to me because like I feel like through talking to you about this industry is like the fitness industry is really not that different, because like that's a lot of what we do in training, or what I would used to do and what Ron does in training sessions is like we want them to come to us and get what essentially the goal that they're looking to achieve. But if we can teach them a little bit of how to do this stuff on their own on the days where they don't see us, the likelihood of them hitting their goals or getting what they want is all more, it's all the more likely that way, right? And the way you kind of explained it is very much like similar with hair. It's like I can give you an okay haircut, but if you can't replicate it and do it effectively on your own when you're not here, it's like, what's the fucking point?
Well, yeah, it's even like thinking about even like form. So it's just like, okay, if you tell someone to do squats, but you don't show them how to do squats, when they go do it on their own, is it going to give them the same result?
Exactly. Dude, that's cool.
No. So yeah, I think that's really actually one of the more important things, because client wise, they don't know the technical differences between an okay haircut and a phenomenal haircut. They just they know it looks like the picture when they do it, or it doesn't.
Where do you see your salon in the next 5 years, and what steps do you think what steps are you gonna go about taking to get there?
Um, I I would like to. I mean, I would like to still stay. I work in a suite, so it's not like a large storefront. I really like just having like a private room that I rent. So I would like to just be in the space I am now. I don't want to like have any necessarily like changes other than just keep growing my clientele. So I will probably just continue to focus on social media. That's the biggest thing in our industry. Word of mouth, social media is what helps you grow. I would say that's just probably what I'm going to spend my time focusing on now, so that I can have more butts in my chair.
So you want to like be your own thing. You don't want to at any point own your own salon, have employees. You kind of
Nope.
just like the way you're doing it now. No shit. Nope.
This is already more than I wanted.
That's a big fat nope. Nope,
Nope.
nope, Rooney.
Nope. I don't want to be the boss lady, and I don't want a boss lady. So this is all I need.
It's your thing. You own it. It's exactly what you want it to be.
Yep.
And I'm gonna jump on the topic of financials. How I know it's X's thing, but I'm
for
sure
it.
he'll wanna
Go for it.
want to know this. So how do you handle slow business and financial setbacks?
Well, having a little bit of like a savings or a buffer is definitely helpful, because with this industry, there's not predictability. And even if, let's say, you may have a whole week booked for next week, things do even come up. So having some sort of plan to account for unexpected things. I will say, I don't, for bank wise, for my business banking, I use Chase, and I actually just found that there's like an auto save feature, and you can put a certain percentage of every transfer into a savings account. And
Nice.
some like Square, if you use Square for your credit card processing, you can automatically set folders. So instead of going straight to your bank, it'll separate it into different folders based on percentages you want. So you
Nice.
can have like a percentage into retirement, you can have a percentage into taxes. So you can have automatically, because for me, I know that if I don't have something automatically doing it for me, it's not going to get done.
No.
I have a harder time doing that. So, like, if you are that kind of person, there are so many resources out there to be able to automatically take a percentage so you don't have to think about it. But I do think having some sort of safety net is really important, especially because this industry is so unpredictable.
Is there like times of years, like a time of the year where like bookings increase that you're like, okay, cool. Now that I'm getting into this season, I could set more money aside into the savings to prep. Like, I feel bad because we just bring up fitness because that is really the only industry I really know. But like in Illinois, we definitely have that problem where like times of the year we get a lot of bookings or like we see traction build, and then there's times of the year when like in the summertime when it gets nice outside, nobody wants to be indoors to work out and work with a trainer because they all want to be outside. So like all of our clients will like go away. Is there a cadence like that in the beauty field as well, as far as you know?
Well, funny you say that because it's the same
Is it?
for me. So I'm usually busy from like late fall to mid spring ish. So usually like June, July, August, September, maybe part of May is where I'm a little less busy. And then for that other part of the year, it's like right before the holidays and all leading up to that is really busy. And then like pre-summer, everyone wants to be blonde and get their color done for the summertime. But I feel like in like actual summertime, people don't want to sit inside
Yeah.
getting their hair done. It's like, and people are on vacation, their kids are home for the summer. So I feel like less people just want to like do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they have less free time available.
If there was anything you could do differently, what would it be? Or if everything you're doing now is something that you want to do, but if there was?
I mean, I guess if I were to do anything differently, I have no regrets, but maybe having a little more thorough thought process on what exactly my plan was going to be to open a business would have probably caused me less stress throughout the year.
You mean just using your last paycheck wasn't enough thought?
No. And honestly, the fact that I somehow made it through the pandemic, without even having any sort of safety net for the business is kind of crazy to me. But do as I say, not as I do. Put thought behind it, because I started in November of 2019.
Ooh, so kind of that's right. So kind of right before the pandemic really popped off. Because what was that, like January, February time, or I guess March,
March,
time we
yeah.
shut
March,
down
yeah.
everything.
It finally March yet. So
you weren't even a year
kinda
into owning your own
horrible.
business. You weren't even a year into owning your own business. That is insane, actually. Kind of more kudos to you, actually. That is pretty damn remarkable.
Yeah, there's a lot going on at the time, so I do kind of wish there was a little more thought to it, but it's okay because 5 years later, still here, still going.
Still thriving and high-fiving.
Yep.
For kind of comparing to kind of what we're talking about, comparing stylists to barbers, I know with a lot of barbers, they do a lot of house calls stuff. Do you happen to get any requests for house calls as a stylist at all, or is it just strictly at your place?
So when I was first starting out, I would do that. I also don't drive now, but I used to go to like family friends and all of that kind of stuff. I would just take whatever I could get. The more that time went on and the busier that I got behind the chair, the less and less of that I started to do. It's really time consuming. It's a lot to cart all your stuff around. And I don't like working out of my house either. So I don't want to bring my stuff to other people's house. And I don't want people coming into my house to do hair at my place of living.
Yeah.
So I do try to keep it only in my workspace. There are people out there who do primarily just house calls. For me, that's a little too chaotic, too much going on, and having to carry all that stuff around is a lot.
I just have more of a friendship question. I love this one. If you could pick any field besides the one you're in to explore and kind of dive into, which fields would you be interested in exploring?
Okay, that's actually funny because I have been thinking about going to school recently. So yeah, I'm in the process of trying to like look at that. But I actually it's kind of in line, and you'll be so surprised, I'm sure, when I say this. I want to get into the cosmetic chemistry part of the industry.
Okay.
So yeah, I wanted to, this has actually been like a lifelong kind of goal that I've had. I really love science. I'm super nerdy about like the chemistry behind hair. Um, and it's funny because I didn't know this when I went into doing hair that it was actually like a chemistry based job. I just happened to love chemistry and I thought hair would be cool. So I actually thought about going in to get a degree in chemistry or chemical engineering so that I can work in a chemical or a hair color manufacturing facility.
Ooh, that's really cool. Kind of in line with the same industry, but a little bit more of the academic, scientific portion of it.
Yeah, I would really like to get into that kind of stuff because my 32-year-old body can't stand all day forever.
Standing is honestly just as exhausting as anything else, especially when you do it as long
32
as.
is not that old, so we don't,
Oh, I know. I feel everything cracks and pops when you were a circus performer.
It's true.
Things hurt a lot faster.
I always tell people I'm 29, or I'm almost 30. I'm 29 years old, but my joints feel like they're 80 because of all the circus shit. Broke my body for years.
When your goal is trying to sit on your head, yeah,
She was a
that's
contortionist.
just like
She
not
did
a
contortion.
thing people
Sorry,
should do.
Ron's face just like his jaw dropped. Like, what the fuck?
I really needed a second to process what you just said.
I could literally like fold myself in half.
Yeah, it's pretty.
So
It's badass.
I mean, that's not like the normal thing people can do.
No.
Yeah. So I don't feel like I'm 32 in that aspect.
I'm so stuck on that.
I got off the couch the other day and my knee popped, my hip popped, and then my shoulder popped. It was like I stood up and then it was like knee, hip, shoulder all at once.
No, it's impressive. Yeah, Ryna's she does a lot of contortion stuff, so there's a lot of photos and stuff of that.
Yeah, I think what is some advice you would give to your younger self about whether owning a business, being in this space, or just general life advice?
So I think advice that I would give to my younger self, well, when I was first starting out in this industry and I told people I wanted to do hair, even for my own family, it was, I was told this isn't a real career. You're not going to be successful. People would say, oh, you're just a lowly hairstylist kind of thing. You like do what you love. And also, if you work hard at something, you can make a good living doing it, regardless of what society tells you. Go for your dreams. You're gonna regret it more if you don't do it.
Fact, dude, love that. If Ryna, if anyone wanted to get a hold of you or ask you questions, shameless plug time. How would people? What's the best way to get a hold of you if people have questions or comments?
Yeah. So Instagram. I'm okay. So I am not like a TikToker. I will say I am trying. I have just started using TikTok again. So my TikTok, if you're gonna, I'm trying to figure it out. So, not quite there yet, but my TikTok is Ryna Jerrick, RYNAJERRICK. And then Instagram is something that I primarily use all the time. And my Instagram is Ryna Jerrick Redken. So same RYNAJERRICK. So you can always shoot me a message and we can chat, whatever. Yeah.
Awesome. Ryna, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you being on the podcast with us.
Thank you so much.
As always, listeners, if you want to submit any stories about you in ruts, you overcoming ruts, or have questions for Ryna or for us about, general advice of how to get out ruts, please shoot us an email at outoftherut@yahoo.com. Ryna, once again, we appreciate your time.
Thanks so much.
Of course. Thank you guys for having me.